Hello and welcome to the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast.
For the Sports Collector.
I'm Jason Otero.
I'm Gary LeMaster.
This is Season 5, Episode 35 of the podcast. It is fall.
Finally.
It is no longer hot in Ohio.
I'm still wearing shorts and a T-shirt, though.
I'm shorts and hoodies. It's my favorite weather of the year.
You go one or the other.
I'm built for this.
So am I.
A buddy of ours, a coworker we had named Dave,
told
this story at one time. He was working on somebody's garage.
Okay.
And he said something to them just like small talk, which, you're in somebody's house. You got a small talk, have them feeling good, make them feel comfortable with you. And he said something about, this is like perfect shorts and hoodie weather. And the dude looked over at his wife and goes, "What'd you just say?" He said, it's like perfect shorts and hoodie weather. Hold on a second. "Hey, honey, come here." Brings his wife out. "Dave, you tell him what you just said."
Say it again.
He said, "It's good shorts and hoodie weather." "Honey, you tell him. You tell him." And everybody's confused. He believed he invented that.
Yeah, but everyone watching was also confused about where that was going.
I had no idea. He was like, he invented shorts and hoodie. I was like, I'm pretty sure he didn't.
No.
We got a lot to jump into, a little bit of news. We're going to do a fun little segment today that we haven't done before.
Nope.
And I have to introduce you to somebody. It's going to be a part of the show. Wanted to be a part for quite some time. We've been kind of keeping them at bay, but as we're starting to do more video, I'm going to get to introduce our uncle to you, so I think that'll be...
Should be interesting.
You won't be bored with that one, so hang on for that here in just a little bit. We're going to do rapid-fire rants today, where we just have a take for each of us, and we ramble on about that. We know that you guys will have fun with that. But let's jump in with a little bit of news right away. I'll start out with something positive, because it's usually a little bit more negative.
Sure.
I just thought this was cool because of my age and just remembering what this was.
Yeah.
But a recent 1989 Jordan one-on-one, what was that product? Starting lineup.
Yeah, Kenner made starting lineup.
Kenner made starting lineup. It was the one where it was him and Isaiah Thomas one-on-one in the same packaging. That card, the Jordan card out of that, was recently opened up out of the plastic packaging. Remember how it had the mold on it? So the card was sent off. It gemmed out a PSA 10 and recently sold for $15,000.
Yeah, insanely low population card. Those cards usually got played with, and if they were left in the packaging, if you've seen the packaging, most of these things get crushed, or they've been left where there's heavy light on them, so they yellow out, the card fades. So to get one
loose in
10,
the packaging, it's just playing bumper cars the whole time.
I'm willing to bet, and I haven't looked, but I'm willing to bet the population on that is well under 100 on a PSA.
Well, it's got to be low.
Yeah.
But again, we've been talking about that GOAT market.
Oh, yeah.
We're seeing it in shows while now ultra modern football has picked up a little bit now that we're a few weeks in, but it's definitely slower than the last couple of years.
And it's not last year's rookie quarterbacks that are selling.
Right. But the GOAT market continues to climb. You and I keep buying Jordan, Kobe,
bought 3 Jordan slabs
Iverson
yesterday.
stuff, Brady, big football names like stuff 15, 20 years ago, early 2000s. And if you're getting stuff that usually was at 15 to 100, you might want to go back through your collection and take a peek because especially $50 and up, probably around that 300 mark, and then the high-end stuff especially, it is taking off. So you might have you may have paid a little strong on a Jordan, and now you have tons of room on it.
Might be 2 to 3x what it was since you bought it if you bought it more than 3 months ago.
It's a lot of fun. So, hey, go check out those starting lineups that you have that all your buddies told you were complete junk. Maybe you have this one, and maybe you have the card with it, and maybe it's in good enough condition to grade, and maybe it would gem out, and maybe you would have $15,000 sitting around.
It's a big stack of maybes, but who knows?
Worked out for somebody. So apparently one sold at $15K. Another one just gemmed recently. So we're going to see what happens with that. With the market climbing, are we really doing this? What's next? The Haynes cards? You remember the Haynes ones? I guess that was a little bit later.
I do.
Hey, peak COVID, those Haynes, remember they did a re-release at the dollar store, and it was Dollar General, Dollar Tree. You bought Haynes underwear or shirts. It was a pack, and it had a card.
Was it Haynes or Fruit of the Loom? I'm pretty sure it was Fruit of the Loom because the Fruit of the Loom card was...
Whoa. This is a massive thing to figure out. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it was Fruit of the Loom because Jordan... I'm wanting to say there was a Fruit of the Loom card set back in the 90s.
Oh, this would be more recently. Okay, so I'm right about the Haynes in COVID, okay?
Okay.
But
do you remember what I'm talking about?
I mean, Fruit of the Loom had the corner market on the undies.
Yeah, they did. especially tidy whities.
Yeah, now we've got pouches and vents in underwear. Now we have breathable fabric.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Did
Are we going down this road?
I do. Because you know what I just remembered? I don't know if you remember this at all, but there was like a little period in the 90s when it was Joe Boxer, and they were like flannel boxers, and they had a thick band, and you would like tuck a baggy shirt, and it would show that you had the boxers, and then you would sag just a little bit. Not too much, but just a little bit to show off.
30 plus years of my life, I was full team tidy whities. Then I went to full team boxer brief.
Nobody wanted to picture you in underwear. That's not what I was asking about. I was asking about a fashion trend.
I remember, and I thought it was stupid.
You're like, I'll tell you what underwear I wore for 30 years. For 30 years.
Oh, shoot.
But yeah, so anyway.
Runs in the
Loom,
family.
Yeah. But the Hanes cards, where were we even going with this?
You were talking about the Jordan starting lineup, but maybe the Hanes cards
Oh,
would be
yeah,
worth
yeah.
15K
Maybe they'll get a little
too.
bit of love next. All right, we were positive. Can we be negative now?
We're going to have to be.
Topps basketball released. Exciting news. It
Yeah.
released at a reasonable price point. Where's resale on that? Have you seen? I didn't ask you.
I think the MSRP is $189.99.
Okay.
So
And the
pre-sale
original
was
release
110.
price, yeah, 110,
Yeah,
189.
$109.99.
I was expecting to land between $2 and $250. One really important thing to note, and I went and looked this up. I didn't see any different information as well. Luka Doncic does not seem to be in this
The
product.
checklist, yeah.
So there was conversations. Is he a Panini exclusive autograph? What would that have to do with his name, image, and likeness being in a Topps product? Are we making too much of this? Why do we keep having star players not in Fanatics products? Would I think be Cal Raleigh and then Luka? I feel like these are now again Cal Raleigh's trajectory. I think he's blown a lot of people away this year. There was an element of surprise, but he wasn't. He's good.
Yeah, he was good before
Luka's
that.
an established necessity in the hobby for basketball.
Well,
He's a
the
staple.
question is, and I think that the question people are asking is the wrong question.
Oh,
The question is, because
I'm going to tell you the question. That's the wrong question.
is Luka Doncic a member of the NBA Players Association? Because you don't have to be a member of the NBA Players Association if you don't want to be. Just like the NFL, there
You
are
don't know
guys
the
who
answer to
opt
this?
out.
Let me find out.
So if he's not a member of the NBA Players Association, then he would have to have a contract negotiated with Fanatics individually for his name, image, and likeness to be used.
Luka is a member.
So he is a member. So now it's weird because they have a blanket license with the NBA PA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's two products in the same year. So I just think that's a little bit strange that that's happening. Now, Fanatics is probably smart not to just put somebody on blast that's also potentially going to make them a ton of money
Sure.
once this gets straightened out. My guess is, if I'm reading between the lines, whatever happened late summer, early fall, it caused Fanatics to be like, you know what? We're cool being chill until January for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder if part of it wasn't, hey, these exclusive,
Athletes,
autograph
yeah.
deals, like you wait until 2026, and if you move before that, we have legal ground to at least make it expensive and difficult for you in this transition. Sure. I think that's what's happening. I have no factual basis to go off of, but I've had enough caffeine this morning to believe in myself.
Speaking of Luka,
Okay.
did you see he made a guest appearance on a very famous web TV show this week?
I'm scared of what you're going to say.
If you want to be really entertained, go watch Luka Doncic on Hot Ones.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, he's on it this week.
He's got to be soft when it comes to eating spicy
It
food.
was very when he got
I
to
bet
the bomb.
he folds like a chair.
When
with
he
some
got to
spicy
the
wings.
bomb, it was intense.
Now, peak Mavs Luka would have torn through that.
Oh,
But they got him on kale soup now
he's
over
lost
in LA.
40 pounds.
Yeah,
he was like, "Oh, you called me fat? Okay."
Yeah, he's like, I can eat wings. No, you can't, Luka. And you know what? Overall, you made the right decision for your wallet, for your body, for your longevity.
I don't think
But
his wallet
you
matters.
can't hang with us eating wings.
No.
We know what we're doing.
You know who could?
Gary eats the bones.
Not the whole bone.
Guys, when we talk about grabbing a bite, if he says wings, I have to think, do we have guests with us? I'm not joking. Because he takes the wing. By the way, not a morsel left on the bone,
of
which
course not.
many people would agree with. That's fine. Some people are a little different than that and be like, yeah, that bite doesn't look so great. I'd rather have more wings and leave some meat on the bone. Anyway,
Nope.
when he's done with a flapper, he's not done with the flapper. and he bites the ends of the bones up and chews up the marrow and whatever remnants of tendon or whatever attached.
Yeah.
Crunching it like it's not weird.
It's not weird. You eat
So
all
that's
of the edible parts.
So yeah, if you think that's weird, you should definitely try to go out to eat with us and watch what happens there. Especially if they have weird food on the menu. He can't wait to show that off.
Absolutely.
All right, Luca. Now let's move on to something that happened at a show we were at recently.
This was
did happen
wild.
in Xenia.
This was wild.
Towards the end of the show, Xenia had a nice wave, like mid-morning to early afternoon, but it was a little slower start. I mean, Buckeyes had a noon football game. In general, states that have a lot of card shows are starting to experience a little more saturation.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay. That's going to happen, and some of that's naturally healthy for it to correct itself. But we had somebody come walking up. It's a dealer that we have set up across from, and most shows that were set up that are sizable in Ohio, he's set up there.
Yeah.
He has a business, been doing it a while. But I think if I recall, just in the last couple of years, doing this like we are with the
I
frequency.
think he just started setting up
Probably
within
at least
the
a
last
year.
year.
Yeah. Anyway, so he comes walking over to us. Now, reminder, at this show, we are not an authority. We are just another vendor that's set up there.
People, more people in Ohio know who we are than elsewhere. But yeah.
I think the reason he came over, as we'll tell the story in just a minute, is one thing that I do like about the reputation that we seem to be gaining is those guys will not lie to you.
Right.
Even if it's
not what
fun.
you want to hear.
And that's what this situation was. So dealer had purchased a downtown, walked it up to us with the person that had sold it. Our understanding is
It had been a couple hours.
it had been a couple hours, and the dealer was like having some issues, some curiosities about the card. So he came walking over to us. We were actually a little bit busy at that time, but he brings the card up. I take a look at it. It's a Donruss dual downtown, Odunze and DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, black.
Black, Donruss, horizontal. Hands me the card. It's in a mag. The first thing I realize is, the hell is this?
Yeah.
This is not a Donruss black downtown. Now, the irony of the moment is not lost on us, because in a room full of dealers, there may be many things that we could be an expert in the room on, but the downtown market is not one of those.
And we are well known for saying that we don't do case hits. We've thought about making T-shirts that say downtown suck.
Yeah. So this walks up to us. It's an ironic moment, but I can tell what the dealer's actually asking. He's like, is something off here? He didn't even say it. As soon as I look at the card, something is off. It looked like it had donut glaze across it. Like it wasn't right. The card stock was thicker than Heritage.
Yeah.
You could just see that it was basically two laminates that had been placed on this. You turn the card over, no one-on-one marking.
Shiny back.
The Donruss did not have a stamp. It was just a smooth surface. It wasn't stamped in where you would be able to feel that. There were so many things wrong, but the problem was you had no idea what I was asking you.
No, and I was busy.
He thought he was in the middle of something.
Yeah.
Which, if you're in the middle of a deal or I'm in the middle of the deal, the thing that we do is we go up, we kind of stand there, and it's like, I'm not letting you go to the next conversation before I interrupt you, or something really cool has walked up. So he just sees me hand him a black downtown, and he's like, am I supposed
Jason,
to be...
Well, Jason's words were, here, check this out. And he says it just like that. There's no like weirdness. And so the first thing I do when he asks me that question is he's want me to check value. So I don't even really pay attention to the card. I just immediately open my phone and start to go to card ladder. And then I feel an elbow, and he leans in quietly. He goes, no, dude, I think it's fake. And so we get to looking at this thing. And like we said, weird.
Now, pause. This is good. I want you to pick this up.
Okay.
Dealer has brought the guy that sold him this.
Yes.
Now, if you opened up ChatGPT and you said,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I know exactly where you're going, but do it. You've already started.
Hey, could you draw me a picture of a serial scammer at card shows? Leave no detail out. And embrace all stereotypes. My God, GPT would have done this. It would have taken 10 takes for them to get anywhere in the vicinity of this.
And the best part about this conversation we're having right now is
We're holding back so much.
I said something similar on the audio version of the podcast about 2 or 3 years ago, and Jason gave me so much crap for it. But it's just the truth. If you saw this dude's profile picture on Facebook, you'd be like, oh, hell no, I'm not buying anything from that guy.
No, I was just going to say somebody that I think would be scamming at a card show, but the difference is anyway.
Yeah.
The difference is I'm right, you're wrong.
Okay.
You said very insensitive things in that episode. You guys are more than welcome to go back and look at that. But at the exact moment where I hand it to him and I give him the elbow and I'm like, I don't think this is real. Like I said, I think this is fake. That guy starts going, man, is there a bathroom around here? I gotta
go to the bathroom.
And like 3 or 4 people were like, you're fine. So turns out it's not good. Gary finally is like, I just keep saying to the dealer, and we're not. There's 2 ways to handle this stuff. There's like an old school vibe where it's like, take them out into the streets and beat them for having a fake card in there.
Yep.
I like to do the thing where
Casino style.
I will present 3 or 4 outs in the conversation.
And you did it like 4 times.
To lie, to de-escalate the moment, and still get to the end result. So it was like, so where did you come across this? He was like, I pulled it out of a blaster. I'm like, wow, no, you didn't. But he keeps sticking to this. I was like, are you sure you didn't like buy a lot? Because maybe somebody slid this into a stack. Blah, blah. This wasn't part of a collection. You didn't accidentally buy this from somebody else. Because if they're here, I keep trying to make it where it's not your fault. And he's
Give
like,
him an out.
Nope. And then I was like, well, I guess you need to reach out to Panini because I've never seen them put a fake downtown in their product.
And at this moment, I take the time, as the dude's face has drained of all color, and he's again asked about the bathroom, I take the moment to just turn my phone around and show him the Etsy listing that I just found with that exact card for $29.99. And it's at this point that he realizes that he has done.
He has nowhere to go.
Yeah, he is found out that he's in a world of hurt.
This dude's about 6'4". He's taller than you, probably 6'5". He was a little bit taller. You were 6'3".
Oh yes, I'm shrunk.
So
a little
I bet
bit,
he's about 6'5". The dealer is 4 inches shorter than me.
Oh, he's a tiny dude.
And he looks up like, you owe me some money. We ain't going nowhere. The way I see it, I need about
$365.
So the next thing that happens is he says the amount. Now, a black downtown.
It's a 1 of 1.
1 of 1. That card, because it would have been rookie.
It's a $15,000 card.
Yeah. I mean, let's be conservative and call it $10K.
Yeah, you're not buying it for $365.
So whenever the dealer said $365, my first thought is, there were signs. I don't mean. I didn't.
Yes, you did, and it's okay. That's the reality.
I don't mean it. I don't ever want it because I have made purchases before I got excited about it, and it wasn't as good because somebody said, oh, it's this and this and this and this and this and this.
If it's too good to be true, it is.
2 things to look for. 1, is the price way off? I think across the board, dealers that have had this happen to them, shop owners, this happens to people all the time. So 1, if you do something with cards long enough, it's going to happen to you. It happened to us with a Whatnot purchase a few months back.
Yeah.
There were some vintage cards that were put in different holders that were a little more scuffed up. You couldn't see. They were bad fakes. But they were about $300 worth of our purchase.
Yeah.
And they were like strategically placed in there. We screwed up. It was completely our fault. But in this particular situation, and a lot of times it shows, you're going to get an offer on a card that's way below what somebody should be asking, right? If somebody has a case full of cards, then they know what everything is, and then they break out this card and they act like they don't know what this is, and they want less than 1/10 of value, right? That should be a major red flag. And so it's just a reminder, all of us, like, if the price is too good, then I would even say this, man, that's a great deal for me. I'm happy to do that.
Buying it at 3% of value.
Why are you valuing it at that would be a good question. Because sometimes people don't know. People don't know what some inserts are. Even people that open a while. And now, that's the thing with ultra modern too. Now, a downtown is not in that category,
right.
But there are so many inserts now and super short prints that just look like cheaper inserts at times that it's easy for that to happen. Is the price too low? If you ask a question, do you get an answer? And then the next thing I would say to be really careful with is when somebody is talking up and explaining a card to you the whole time that you're looking at it. It's almost like the more you look at it, the more they're trying to bring your attention to them and not the card. That's a red flag for me. So it was really kind of awkward. This guy had some cash on him, but he'd already been walking around the show, spent some of it. He didn't have the full amount to give back to the dealer. which would have ended differently for you and me than him. Like, we would have walked him right to an ATM, maybe driven him to one. Like, you're giving me money. You're paying me back. But honestly, we hopefully would not have picked up the card just because we know that enough. There are cards that we don't know enough that we don't mess with. You know?
No, but there's no such thing as a shiny back, like silvery back downtown. That doesn't exist and never has existed.
There's a film you can buy on eBay or Amazon people are using to have fake silver rookies.
You can walk into Hobby Lobby or Michael's and buy it.
Yep. But
it's a cricket film. Yeah.
But the where you usually see that play out is when retail SKUs just drop that have bigger hits, and like the silvers are going to, they're going to be worth $30-$40 for like 3 weeks before everything gets sent off.
Right.
That's where people are scamming that. So just a quick reminder to you, it still happens. There's still fake cards running around. The fakes are getting a little better. If you would have held that mag out to me from 5 feet away, I'd been like, oh, that's sweet that you got that card.
Yeah.
But upon closer inspection, not a chance in this world. So valuable reminder to all of us.
Yeah. And if the card itself seems a little weird and you combine that with somebody being the walking stereotype of a scammer, just don't hand them any money. Just say, hey, you know what? It's not for me. And if you're 100% sure it's fake, just say, hey, man, nothing personal. I'm not going to let you rip anybody else off with this card today. You come back at the end of the show, I'll hand it back to you, but you're not coming across the table and taking it. That's how I would have handled it.
Now, if that would have happened to me and I'd spent money on it, it's a fake. Now, his argument was that he opened it from a pack. But if you get to the point where it's like so obvious that it's fake.
Yes.
I'm keeping this card as collateral if I ever see you at a show again.
Yeah.
Like if I feel like it's intentional.
Yeah.
We've had that conversation with people before. We have people on that list, and I have their fake stuff in my case. I have no shame in that, because how else is there accountability? Like, keeping people out of that space that are intentionally scamming is the right move. So that's what I would do. I would keep it as collateral.
Yeah.
If you show up again here, everybody's going to find out about this card.
Yeah.
Like, let's just not do this anymore. There are people being taken advantage of, too, that don't even realize it. And I think that happens sometimes, too. Especially like a kid. It's like, I got a great deal on this. Remember, it was like was it the Pittsburgh show? We had some kids walking up with some fake autos and fake color blasts, like Xerox. Like,
yeah, bad. and I mean, again, this is a situation that occurred. Jason gave the guy 4 times that he could have been like, oh, man.
Maybe
That's what
I did
happens
get that
when
in
it's not intentional, or if it is intentional, the guy's smart enough to know. But when he kept doubling down on, no, I pulled it from a pack. No, I pulled it from a pack. No, you didn't. Here's the Etsy.
Third time. That's when you're like,
here's the Etsy listing you bought it from.
Oh, he said, I found it. He's like, oh, you did? It's on Etsy.
So anyhow, tales from card shows at Xenia this weekend.
Let's keep it moving, guys. I'm not saying that we're psychic. I'm not saying we have ESPN. What I am saying is we called this.
Yeah.
GameStop has announced. Now, again, you wouldn't have to be brilliant to pull this off for those of you that are already putting something negative in the chat with this clip. You don't have to be brilliant to figure out that this was happening. GameStop and PSA have partnered up with a brand new repack that is digital, that offers buybacks, that offers an opportunity to submit your card immediately to eBay. So just a quick reminder, one, turnkey solution, good for new collectors that have no clue what's going on, that you can take your cards into GameStop. There's a local retailer probably within an hour of most people, half hour for most, that they can have a place to drop their cards off to PSA and send them off. And PSA has a service where they'll buy your card outright, give you an opportunity to run it on eBay. Some cards are ending up in a repack. Now, this repack that they're offering is called Power Packs.
It sounds like it's very similar to the way Arena Club is set up, right?
It's very similar to that. But let me get into the weeds a little bit. So I went to the PSA website to try to read the fine print that's
always
on
important
there to know like what is being offered. So it is like those digital repacks. You can open it up. You'll have an instant offer. There are different tiers of packs you can open. I think 5 different ones. They say that the buyback offer will be 90% based off of Card Ladder's estimated value minus a 6% fee for the purchase. So, Gary, 90% is taking 10% off of the value.
Yep.
And then you go another 6.
That sounds like 84%.
Okay. So we're at 84%. You also have the option of listing that card with PSA
in
on
their eBay store,
immediately, which is a service they offer where they were doing a promotion. If you want to spend a little less money, get your cards graded a little bit quicker. If you agree to auction it through eBay, then you can do that. Now they're offering where they'll do a buyback at 84% immediately. They will offer the option for you to vault it with them. Now, there are vault fees anytime that you decide that you want the card to be shipped to you, plus a shipping charge. So essentially, the place where you drop cards off to grade them are selling you cards, and the grade that a card receives determines the value of the cards. And yet again, we still have people saying there's no conflict of interest. This is just a general net positive for the hobby. You're being too critical. And also, by the way, some of you idiots were saying that's not going to happen. They're not going to do their own repack where they're submitting grades.
Yeah, well, again,
that's not going to happen, Gary.
The idea that any of this is long-term good for the hobby is silly. What it is very good for PSA, because now they're generating revenue at every single stop a card makes in its life cycle, right? Outside of being ripped from a pack, from the time a card comes out of a pack, PSA has a very high likelihood of touching a piece of the revenue at every stop along the way for that card. When it gets graded, they get revenue. If you decide to sell it to them for their buyback offer, when they throw it back into a repack, they get revenue. Yep. If you decide to list it on their eBay consignment store, they get revenue. At the end of the day, for them, it's a great business decision, but overall, for the hobby, the idea that this doesn't scream conflict of interest is you're intentionally just putting your head into the sand and going, like, it's a pure conflict of interest.
Oh,
like,
and by the way, as this is happening, SGC is dead, guys. Like we talked about last week, SGC is intentionally being choked out. So now you need BGS to make a push if there is a competitive sports card grading company.
Yeah, because CSG it's just
non-sport. It's massive.
Yeah, it's massive, but they've been around now in the sports world as a strong presence
hasn't taken
for
off.
4 years, and it's just their slabs don't
feel
sell.
Nice.
They're great slabs, but they don't sell. I mean, a 10 is maybe 20% overall if you're lucky, and anything less than that, you got to take it out to sell it.
So one thing that's interesting to me is there are a lot of collectors, what I would call probably more flippers, but they like to say they're collectors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they love this because they're like, finally, dealers can't be lowballing me because PSA has an offer at 90%. But let me remind you.
Yeah.
You have a card that you want to sell us, and your counter argument to an offer is, well, PSA is offering me this. Well, a couple things I'd have you consider. That's really going to suck for you when the table is turned and one of the 130 slabs we have out are one you want to buy at margin, because that's going to work both ways. Mm-hmm. You want that slab at 80%. The last one did this. I don't care. PSA's offering me more than you are at the table. So at some point, like this is not a one-sided coin here. If you're wanting to buy cards, well, it just got more expensive for you too. Like it all moves together, guys. It's not moving in the favor of the collector. The whole market is moving, and there is a pattern. How much money can we get out of this stuff? That's right. That's how it's designed. And if you run a business with it, great. But if you're just trying to collect, it's going to get more expensive. So it's easy to say, well, I'm going to get better buys from dealers now because PSA is putting these offers in place.
And this is the other part of that equation that a lot of people don't think about. PSA, when you go look at that offer that they show you when you scan, there's a little asterisk beside it. Now, this is very important, this asterisk is. And what that asterisk says when you get to the fine print, this is paraphrased, is based on current value. They don't pay you that when you click the button. They pay you that after you send them the cards and they're checked into the vault. At the point that they're checked into the vault, PSA will recheck the value. If there has been a couple of comps where that card has gone down, you're going to get less. If it's gone down far enough, they may pull the offer completely.
So you have a bigger rookie. They play well. PSA has an offer for you that you like at $100 for the card. That player is injured. By the time, Like a J.J. McCarthy would be a good
It
example.
might be 3 weeks before it's checked
By the
in.
time it's checked in, their value plummets. If it's like a new quarterback, they're going to change the offer?
Or
Are you
pull
sure
it,
about that?
or pull it completely. Yeah.
So if you're somebody that wants to take advantage of this, I think, okay, so let's do it on a more positive note here. So let's just say for the collector, that includes you and me too, with our inventories, even stuff that we deal, right?
Yep.
PSA has this 90% offer. On weird stuff that might have been bricked in your showcase, it's probably worth taking a look to see
Yep.
PSA offer, because they may be offering more than your sticker. Sometimes you have the right card in your showcase, but because there's no recent data, nobody will jump at it. But if PSA thinks it's worth $400, you may have been sitting on a $350 sticker for the last 6 months, and you'd be tickled to send that off.
Yep.
So take a look at those. There might be an advantage for you there as well. But this repack thing just seems off.
Yeah.
Here's where you submit the card. The higher the grade, the higher the value, and then we turn around and sell it back to you. And 90% really means 84%.
And the purpose of it, this is where I think people are getting confused. What PSA wants is for you to send them your cards to grade and then never have them sent back to you. They're going to make you an instant offer the minute your grades pop. They want to buy those cards then. And if you choose not to, you can have them put in their vault. Right? And then all this stuff is much quicker. But that's their overall goal here, is to buy stuff immediately without ever having to ship it back. And for you as a customer, it's like, well, I save on that return shipping cost, which can be high on a big card.
Sure.
Like all that type of stuff is part of it. But that's their purpose. They're not trying to just like be your buddy.
Right.
They want you to keep your cards.
Yeah, but if there's a turnkey solution that's helpful for collectors,
It can be a great thing.
If I was somebody that just had a ton of disposable income for this is kind of cool.
Well, and if you're say your business
all these dads about to be dropping their kids off at GameStop three times a week.
Say your business model is that you buy cards and there's people like this that do it successfully. It's not us, but there are people. You buy cards raw and you pay very strong, 100 even 110% if it's clean. And you grade it to flip it. That's your entire business model. If that's the case, most of the time, when you get those cards back, you already have a buyer for them, whether it's a repacker or somebody you have a relationship or whatever else. If that person is paying you 85 to 90%, and PSA is going to pay you 85 to 90%, then you have replaced that repacker relationship with PSA, and your life just got a lot easier. It can be a positive for people who have that business model. Mm-hmm. For everybody else, it's not so great.
Yeah. All right, you ready to go to football?
Let's go.
All right. Current record.
Closing the gap.
Well, we both did bad this week, but Gary closed the gap. He's out by 1. So after 2 weeks of a former football player and veteran coach who knows football getting it handed to him, the last few weeks he's been closing the gap. He's within 1. So we're currently sitting at, I'm at 30-22. Gary's at 29-23. Okay?
We're right there.
This last week we did not do very well.
Jason went 1-4. I went 2-3.
Yeah, it was rough. I picked the games this time just to mix it up. Gary's picked the last few. I'm just trying to change up the mojo. Trying to get a little bit luckier here, but we have some that aren't super easy picks.
No, they're not.
You want me to just circle mine?
Yeah. You just fire this off and let's go. What are
All
we
right.
starting with?
Giants at Broncos.
Am I picking first?
Yep.
I'm going to ride that Cam Scatterbo train. I'm going Giants.
Same.
Okay.
Rams at Jags. 1, 2, 3. Rams. Dang it. Eagles at Vikings. 1, 2, 3. Eagles. I don't like it when this happens.
Well, you picked the games that are easy picks.
You think?
I think so.
4-2. 4-2. All right. Anyway.
Vikings are a bad team.
Bucks at Lions. 1, 2, 3. Lions.
Dang it.
All right,
the Bucks are just so beat up.
This
I
might
love
be
Baker,
the only one
but
we
they're
got
so
to disagree
up.
on one. Hopefully, Commanders at Cowboys. I'm going to go Commanders.
I'm going Cowboys.
Okay, there we got one. I just honestly did that to be different. All right.
Okay.
So we could be tied next week.
We could be. The Cowboys, in my opinion, the defense is terrible, but I don't think Washington's very good. I know they won yesterday, but like, is it just me or does Jaden's sophomore season feel a lot like C.J. Stroud's? Like we've seen this movie before. Yeah. Like he's not bad.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud wasn't bad, but it's not a step forward from last year.
He was hurt, 2 weeks? He was out 2 weeks of the first 6.
But I mean, he's completing like 59% of his passes. Like
for me, the Jaden, that decision would I probably need a couple more weeks. I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
If it
It just
stays
feels
like this,
that way.
If we're sitting at like week 9 and it's still the same thing, I think that it's definitely a little bit of a sophomore
Yeah.
slump. But it's so hard to just burst onto the scene like he did and maintain. Like,
Well-
it's just, you catch people off guard. You're doing new things. People don't have time to adapt. It takes a couple games for coaches to be like, all right, we got to do this with this person. Like, but it can happen.
You know who else looked really good yesterday? Michael Penix.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. What you can't do, though, is be like, I called it, when since you've called it, there have been a lot of times where that
No,
worked.
that's not what I said.
That's
I'm
where I
just
was
saying
seeing
he
it.
looked awful
That's
good.
what I said. You know who else looked good? Bijan.
Oh, Bijan's. Can we?
That XRC silver.
This is not on our list. I will be shocked if that XRC silver has moved much at all. Bijan is one of the best players in football overall. His market is
I think we
Bucky
see it on the
Irving
next
has a
update.
stronger market than Bijan Robinson. It's crazy. Okay,
That
anyhow.
is true. People like, but again, it's collectability. I think people just like Bucky. People just like Bucky.
Yeah.
You know what was fed down everyone's throats? Penix, Bijan, the Atlanta market by Mr. Jeff Wilson over and over.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
So it's like the default is don't do what he says.
Well, that's great advice across
So-
the board.
Okay.
Do you
So last week, sorry, did you have something else?
Well, no, I was just going to ask if Jason's about to introduce you to somebody.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's do.
Do you have in your family a relative that you can count on for all the wrong kind of entertainment at a family holiday?
Everybody has that one family member where they just don't know what they're going to say.
'Cause we
what they're
do.
gonna do. All right, so we haven't brought this up at this point. I mean, we've been doing this for 5 years now. But we have an uncle, our Uncle Terry. He got us into cards. We try not to get him too fired up because he's one of those uncles. Once you get him going, he gets fired up, and he's an intense man.
That's one way of saying it.
But our Uncle Terry brought us into this, so I didn't tell him that we had dropped video because he actually has
barely knows how to use a phone.
He's got a cassette player taped inside of
Yes,
his
that's
vehicle.
what I say.
Yeah.
He barely knows how to use a phone.
Yeah, so he had to jitterbug for a very long time. Anyway, so Uncle Terry, he finds out that we were doing video episodes. He happened to stumble on to our interview last week, Breaks with Kyle, which if you haven't seen that, go back and check it out. Kyle is one awesome dude to talk with. The way he's doing repacks, his approach to repacks. But Uncle Terry found out last week that there's some shady stuff happening in the repack space.
Was
And
not happy.
he wasn't happy. So I've been putting it off. I've been hesitant, but he says the people demand it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to my Uncle Terry.
Thank you to my nephews Gary and Jason. My name is Uncle Terry. This is Uncle Terry's Vault, and today we're speaking on a very serious subject running amok through the card community, and that is the repacking that's happening on Whatnot. And I'm here to tell every single one of you sellers on the application of Whatnot, I'm looking at you. And with every single one of you, know that your Uncle Terry is coming to audit those damn repacks, or grab bags as we used to call them. I've been hired by Whatnot. Well, they didn't answer my call, and I took that as an idea to lead a crusade as the Whatnot Vigilante, coming for every single one of your repacks to make sure the value is what it says. And until I'm done auditing those damn repacks, I have decided to make every single one of you on Whatnot open nothing but old wax from here on out. Remember it, Uncle Terry, the Whatnot Vigilante, and I'm coming for all of you repacking.
All right, Gary.
I just don't know.
There's one thing I need to tell you.
What's that?
When Uncle Terry breaks out these 3 fingers,
Oh, no, it's about to go
and they're
down.
all pointing, I'll tell you one thing Uncle Terry is, and it's not a liar.
Or afraid of physical confrontation.
Or afraid of confrontation. His audits are for real. The hobby is running amok, but I'm hoping that like maybe Uncle Terry's like got it out of his system.
Doubtful, but it'll
We'll
be
see.
yeah.
So if you're out there playing games or whatnot, be prepared because Uncle Terry will stop for nothing. He spent 20 years investigating Watergate afterwards, like to get to the bottom of stuff. So I know that it will be.
That mustache is coming for you.
It's thorough.
It's coming
thorough.
for you.
And if not, wax. Yeah. I actually like opening some of that stuff, but the Whatnot Vigilante is out there. Be on the lookout. Who knows where Uncle Terry will pop up next? You want to keep with some rants? I've got some rants for us.
I do. Yeah.
All right, here we go. You're going to go first. We're each going to do one line, and then we have like 30 seconds to respond to the rant. Does that work?
That works.
All right, you go first.
Older collectors do not hate younger collectors. I know there's a feeling out there from young people and new people to the hobby that these old guys hate you. They don't. They hate that you don't even seem to care about collecting, that all you're wanting to do is flip things. That's what they hate.
I think that can be true, that if I've been collecting for a long time and I grew up through just the sets, the vintage stuff, you built the set and you looked for the rookie, and now you see everybody chasing the cherry blossom dragon downtown Pandora, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and they don't want to keep them. They just want to get them and sell them. Like
that's it.
That I can understand where that's coming from. But half of those guys, half of those old dudes that say that, have their vintage stuff marked up at 300% of what the card has ever sold for in that condition.
Yeah,
and then they're mad that you don't want to overpay
to have that card to collect forever,
just because it's older.
Yeah, that's
it's
fair.
readily available.
The tension between older and younger collectors, we see it on a weekly basis, especially from older dealers to younger collectors. That tension doesn't need to exist, but that's the root of it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go my rant. This is new, guys. Bear with us, but there's a way for us to just get all of our thoughts out here. I'm just going to say it. Not all shows are created equal. Some card shows suck. They do. Some of them are well-promoted, poorly attended. Some of them are well-promoted, well-attended, terrible venue. Some of them are poorly promoted, poorly attended. Some of them don't even happen. Some card shows suck, and it's okay to be selective. What I try to focus on is people that I have confidence in, that I know they're doing their job, and then I'm going to do my job of bring stuff that people want to spend money on and money to spend on cards. But one thing that's very clear to me, the more shows that I do, the more I depend on shows as an income. Yeah. It's okay to say it. Some card shows suck. And it's not a knock on the hobby. Nobody's bringing the hobby down by saying that event was planned poorly. There's this like notion that if you have anything critical to say in the show scene, then you must not want everybody to make money and everybody be successful because we all want the same thing. Guys, that's not how we ain't eating at the Golden Corral every meal, right? Like we're going to pick things that we like, things that work for us, things that don't. We're going to get hit with that one. They'd probably do eat the Golden Corral every meal. But it's okay for there to be some stuff that works better for others. But I just get annoyed with this sentiment. So that's my rant. It's like some shows do suck. You don't have to keep supporting it. You don't have to love it. Now, dealers and promoters, if we work with you, we're not saying it's yours. I don't have one of mine. It's just in theory, I've noticed that this is happening more and more and more.
And I'm going to give you my response to that in two parts. First, I have a follow-up with that. If you're a show promoter, this is business, not personal. So if you're my friend and you're a show promoter, I'm also talking to you. But this is the business, not our friendship. If I'm paying you to be at your show, it is not my job to get people in the door at your show. That is your job. That's what I'm paying you for. I'm paying you to do that job. You're not paying me to do that job. That's first and foremost, right?
Oh, I would agree.
Second one is this. So many of the shows that Jason is talking about here are shows that are relatively, they're either not even necessarily small shows, because there's some great small shows, but a lot of these shows are being promoted by people who couldn't cut it as dealers. There are folks who couldn't cut it as dealers. They weren't selling enough at there, and they're like, I got to make money in this hobby somehow. I know I'll sell 40 tables at $50 a piece and guarantee myself $2,000 on a weekend before my costs. That's not a good reason to promote a show.
Yeah. This is one of those things that I feel like it's just still very guarded conversations. Like people take real offense to it. But as everything else, guess what? GameStop's not going to quit catching the next wave of people getting into the hobby. There's not going to be less Pokemon sold in the next year. SpongeBob was asked for more than anything else at our tables over the weekend. All these things happening in the hobby are happening. And if you are somebody that's running a show, you have a choice to make. I don't care. I'm going to do what I kept doing. And anybody that likes what I do will keep going. True. Yes. And that can work like that. You may have a loyal following, or things are changing. I need to change with them. And if I'm not getting the results I want, what needs to change within that?
Turn introspective when you're not getting the results you want. Don't point at everybody else. Well, these people just don't want to do this. No,
what I think is happening is as the space is growing, as there's more shows than ever, especially in our area, there is a way clearer line of delineation between the shows that people want to, and there's a wait list on, and the ones that just aren't as productive for the dealers or the collectors
that are still trying to fill tables the night before the show.
Yeah. And that's going to happen to everybody on some of. My gosh.
Yes.
Here's where it's tough. Gary and I work with so many promoters that I really hope people aren't taking it as like a personal attack offense. It's just a rant. Not all shows are created equal.
Correct.
Period. All right, you're up.
I cannot stand it at any time in my life when people complain about things that they already knew were the case. In the last week, I have seen 10 different content creators giving some variation of complaining about Panini products that are newly released football products from last year's football class. So the high-end stuff, immaculate, flawless, the stuff that comes out at the end of the year. That how can Panini possibly do this? There's nothing to chase. There's no autos of the high-end quarterback. No crap. They're all exclusive to Fanatics. And guess what? You knew that a year ago. You knew that 2 years ago when it was C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young who were exclusive. And now it's Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. You've known. Why are you complaining about it?
I just really want to see Jordan in a pair of Reeboks. I mean, what's good?
I want to be 6'4" and 215 pounds again. It's not happening.
Right. Information's available, but again, it's a reminder. If everybody's sourcing information on what everybody else tells them, and they don't know where to go look for a checklist, they don't know where to read about product releases, like that's just how information's being fed. But yeah, I would agree that this information was available a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep complaining.
That's what rants are.
What is your card worth? That's what I want to talk about just for a moment here in this rant. With the evolution of PSA offering 90%, repackers paying 100%, we've shared our fair share of frustrations about how sometimes it is a challenge to buy because people have heard 90%, 95%, 100%. But just to be really clear about what that does and doesn't mean. When a repacker buys at 90, 95, 100%, or PSA offers on your card, it is a card, hear me out, that someone out there wants to own. And just because that right guard honeycomb rookie in a PSA 10 sold for $100 6 weeks after the product dropped 3 years ago does not mean that it will bear that value now. So people getting hung up on percentages, yes, talk percentages if it's something you can sell. But 90% of nothing is zero. 90% of no buyers is 90% of nothing. And I did the math on that. Even though I went to Bible college, it's still $0.
It's called the identity property.
So 90%, those strong percentages, if you're going to take that argument, have something worth buying.
Yes, and I think that's the key. The idea that you guys, a lot of you seem to have, that repackers will buy every single card you put in front of them at 90% plus.
Can confirm, not true.
Not true at all. Not true at all. I had one of our best customers say, hey, I got to pass on these two cards. And it was a gold Mahomes and a Bobby Witt auto to 5. So like Jason said, your 3-year-old D-line offensive line card that sold one time ever 3 years ago for $100, it ain't worth $100. It might be worth 10.
It might be worth 50. It might be worth 90. But it's not a conversation of percentages when we're talking about one comp 3 years ago for someone that's less liquid now than they ever were.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it's, speaking of comps.
And speaking of comps, this might be the newest, like, top of the list pet peeve that I have in this hobby as a dealer. It used to be, what's your best? That was my biggest pet peeve. It's not anymore. It's fallen to second on the list. If you try to sell me something or buy something from me, and the only thing you want to use is the last comp, I am 100% certain that you're trying to screw me, because you only want to use the last comp if it's in your favor. There could be 50 comps on a card at $100, and one card goes off at $30 on the same day as the last $100 sale, and all you want to show me is the $30. Unless there's 50 comps at $100 and one went off at $500, then you want to use that one and that one only. Go fly a kite.
I think people do it because it works enough.
Not with me.
Enough dealers want to move stuff, or they get desperate, or they didn't sell enough, so they this and that. Listen, red flag for me, and I'll just tell anybody that's ever purchased me or plans to in the future, we don't lie about the condition of our cards.
Nope.
Talking the quality of a card down in the negotiation to me is an immediate way for me to dig my heels in and say, I don't care anymore. Now I want more than the sticker. Now, if we're talking about a raw vintage card and it's a spread of, I think this presents as a 4 and someone else presents as a 7, now we're talking about something. But ultra modern, is it going to gem? Is it probably a 9? Is it a thick card that's a 9? Maybe that's a little bit better. But what are we doing here? I'm selling it as a raw card. You're saying it's not a gem. Yeah, I'm not charging you the gem price on it. What are we doing here? So that one drives me nuts.
Yep. Got one last rant here, and this one is very close to home for us.
Not everything that people don't want is good whatnot stuff.
Say it again louder for the people in the back.
Not everything that people don't want is good for whatnot. If there's one thing I've noticed is that the language has changed from 3 years ago being like, oh, this lot has the 4 or 5 cards that you want. The rest of that's great eBay stuff. Now everything that is not good is whatnot stuff. And let me just tell you the truth.
And it used to just be, it's bulk.
Yeah. Just because it has a $3 comp and you're selling it at $1 does not mean it's good whatnot stuff.
Just because it has a $50 comp or 5 $50 comps doesn't mean it's good whatnot stuff. Ask us how we know.
Well, the reality is your community that you have buying from you, they kind of over time are wanting certain things. And so if you have the right things that they have shown you by voting with their dollars that they are interested in, those things will do well. But when you introduce 20% of the stuff that they're not interested in, for us, we found that you might get 60% of comps on that stuff, sometimes 40% of comps. You can't just say the word whatnot and add value to bulk.
Right.
Let's just call it what it is. This is bulk. Now, for those of you that want to know what good whatnot stuff is, for us, and it's going to be different for every seller. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. For us, it's going to be the right names, ultra modern, low end, so like $5 to $30 stuff, or the right names, late 90s, early 2000s, parallels, refractors, numbered stuff, autos. Slabs, the right names, but you're noticing a theme here. The right names are good whatnot stuff. If 90% of what you have isn't, it could be numbered to 49.
Your base prestige college uni rookies.
Yeah. Now, those, ironically enough, you can sell them on eBay.
Those are good.
But I'm
eBay.
here to tell you, eBay's a weird place. And on the low-end market, it can be really good, but it can be really tough for you, right? And you could be doing the right stuff, and it slows down. I'm working through that right now. 30% variance on sales. All my metrics are consistent. I'll just leave it at that. You guys have heard me say it for a while, but that can happen on the low-end market. If you get throttled a little bit by eBay for a return, for something they don't like, whatever, on that low-end market, it kind of turns everything down. If you have super interesting collectible things, you can kind of list your way through that a little bit, and then eventually those metrics straighten back out. But be careful. Not everything's whatnot. Not everything's eBay. Some things are just bulk, and maybe it's better off saying, hey, here's some bulk stuff. I don't know if you could use it for this or that, but just saying whatnot stuff doesn't add value to it.
Correct.
Because all I hear is work.
Yeah,
And risk.
and all I hear is, I don't want any of this crap. Will somebody pay me for it?
Right. Now, for those of you that are giving us whatnot stuff that we've purchased in the past, that means we aren't talking about you.
Correct.
So don't
You're
take
bringing
offense
us
to
the
that.
right whatnot stuff.
Yep. So, that's all the rants I have right now. I mean, kind of fired up. I mean, I'm just nervous what Uncle Terry's going to do this week on the internet. He's going to have to go fire up his webcam. Or maybe he's got a floppy disk somewhere where he's keeping track of everything. But it's going to be interesting. I'm sure once he's had some airtime, he's only going to want more.
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
Man, the voice. Running amok. That was my favorite.
It's
Running
just-
amok was the. All right.
Anyhow.
Every single week on Friday, we drop new episodes at noon. If you're seeing this long-form content on YouTube, just so you know, we chop this up into bite-sized pieces all over socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I don't think there's anything else there. Thursday nights, we are live, 6 p.m. Eastern on Whatnot, running single auctions for a few hours till it dies out or we run out of stuff. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Ooh. Next week, very excited about this. Next week, I'm doing an interview with Bonkers Cards, Gordy Bonker, all about the vintage space and in particular, the business side of vintage. I know there's a lot of people that deal like I do where it's a little bit of everything. You'd like to wade into the vintage space more like me. That's going to be a really valuable interview. Gary's enjoying a nice vacation.
Yeah, I'm going to be on vacation. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. What was it?
Nice.
All right, that was weird. This has been the Ballcard Show, the sports podcast.
For the Esports Collector.
Bye now.
Peace.